evening, and welcome to our midweek pause with Bismarck United Church of Christ. It is such a blessing to get to worship with you. This past Sunday, we reflected on Psalm 23, and I want you to listen and hear Psalm 23 now.
A reading from Psalm 23. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. You make me lie down in green pastures. You lead me beside still waters. You restore my soul. You lead me in right paths for your name's sake. Even though I walk through the darkest valley, I fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil. My cup overflows. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I shall dwell in the house of the Lord my whole life long.
One of the things that we reflected on Sunday is that we are called to be by the still waters and the green pastures. But we also know that sometimes all around us it's kind of brown or kind of gray, and we don't always see the still waters or the green pastures. We don't always notice God's blessing right in our midst. So the question before us this night is, how do we do that? We talked about that is one of the things we are called to do, but how do we do it? How do we notice God at work in our lives? And so just a few practical things that we can do in order to raise our awareness and bring ourselves back to the still waters of peace and the green pastures of nourishment throughout every day of our lives. Idea number 1. Grab a sheet of paper, grab a pen, and start making a list throughout the rest of this week, or even for the next week or two, of all the things that you encounter throughout the day that bring you joy and the things that you encounter that just drain you. This is one way to try to get in touch with where does your soul most need still waters and where do you need those green pastures. By the places where you're feeling drained are the places where you need more health within your soul. And the places where you're feeling joy might be things that you could incorporate more into your life to feed your soul even further. So spend some time this week to make those and pay attention to that list of joys and drains throughout the day. And no, these can be big things or they can be little things. They can be simple things or complex things. Just notice them. Notice where your soul most needs those still waters and green pastures. Idea number 2, dedicate the most relaxing thing that you do in your life to being a time to reflect on your soul. One of the things that's relaxing for me is to go for a walk. That might be something, especially when the weather is beautiful, to just reflect on how your soul is. Other places might just be sitting down, sitting in your favorite chair at home, looking outside, watching the sunset, watching the sunrise, or just whatever time of the day is most relaxing for you. Maybe it's in the shower. As you're taking a shower every morning, you take just a couple seconds and reflect on where your soul is that day. Wherever you are most relaxed, take time to reflect on the health of your soul and what you most need to be by those still waters and in those green pastures. Number 3, and our final one for tonight, is to spend some time talking with a friend. Pick up a phone, call a friend, or talk with somebody in person who is a really good listener. Think of someone who just listens really well and share with them, where are the places where you are feeling well fed and where are the places where you are feeling the need for more still waters and green pastures. Just share with them, and after you've shared, ask them if they'll reflect back to you what they heard. Because sometimes we have what we most need within our souls, and we know it, but we don't hear it, and we don't see it. And those who are gifted with the art of listening
can help reflect that back to us. So take time this week and listen, and let a friend reflect with you on the places where your soul could be fed.
So those are just three ways that you can bring yourself closer to still waters and notice the green pastures in your life. I hope that one of those ways or all three will be helpful to you, and that as you start to look around, you start seeing the grays and the browns turn into greens, and you start noticing God's love in more places wherever you go. May you have a blessed rest of your week, and thank you so much for taking time to just be present with one another and to pause in the midst of worship.
Be still and know that I am God. Be still and know that I am God. Be still and know that I am God. Be still and know that I am God.